Hey guys, and welcome back to another tutorial. I am Observer, and yet again it's going to be about stairs, spiral stairs. When SOE featured my previous tutorial on the live stream, which was awesome by the way, I was on vacation. And so that lasted for a week and I haven't had a chance to really keep up with development since then. But I have done a bit of experimentation. And we shall see that now, and I call these stairs the pizza slice technique. Oop, and here we go. We are now in my testing area. Okay. We will get to all of these different creations in due time. I'll try to keep it as short as possible. But the mission here with these stairs, rather than the other ones, was of course one, to avoid these voxel glitches that happen sometimes. And the other one was actually to be able to build it looking like a spiral without covering it with a tower. So what I mean by covering it by a tower is that I've seen some designs recently on forums where people will go essentially, and this is just the miniature demonstration, where people would go like that, and so never mind these voxels, and then basically cut these into a semi-voxel blocky round shape, and then covering that whole thing with a tower so that it looks, or a wall, so that it looks smooth. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to make perfectly round stairs. So it appeared to me that the way to do that would be, instead of using line tool like we've been doing so far, we will use cutouts of a circle. And these are just some of my many experiments. We'll go through the sections of it. Let's go with the basic one. You make the maximum size circle. I've just pre-made this so it will be faster to demonstrate. You can figure it out for yourself. Then you select across the whole thing until you have something like this. You copy and paste it here. Then you delete everything but this part, or just select one of the corners. Paste that there. Then, as you can see, what I've done here is you have to sort of cut that in half too, and that has to be done block by block. And there's some tricks to this. You have to leave one of these little angles here, and you'll see why soon. You can also see that I've copied one on top of another, so it's actually too high. The reason for that is that we want to make it smooth on this side. The way that we make it smooth is quite simple. You take something like this, you attach the tool to it, go over here and there, and it's smooth. So that's how you can make these pizza slices. The reason I'm doing it too high is because you can't do this with a one voxel high line tool. Then what you do is you select half of it again, like this one. You proceed to select only a one voxel high piece and copy that so that you have one of these pieces. Whoa, alright. And so this was one of my earlier experimentations with it, and as you can see it looks very nice, but there's no way to make it tall enough. You can't pass under it with only one high steps. You would think that you need to cut out different angles in order to make it all the way around here, but you actually don't, because of the fantastic little tool that we go through in the little building tool demo video. If you haven't seen it, you probably should, because it goes through many useful tips. But if you, for example, turn it around and then use the V key to flip it, in this case, since it's on the green angle, that will only flip, you can't really see it, but you only flip it upside down. And that's something you have to be careful with, because if you can see carefully on the yellow surface now, you can see there are some parts that are like floating yellow weird things there. That will become a voxel problem. That will become some sort of a bug. So you should flip it around so you avoid those. Those should be underneath. You can hide them there. If we turn it on another axis and mirror it with the V key, you can do pretty much any angle, and you just have to experiment with this to get absolutely every angle. Here I've actually made some attempts to do even narrower ones, 1/8 of a circle each, and that didn't work out. I had to lump them together in the middle for them to fit. It didn't didn't really fit with each other. It's really hard to cut them into 1/8 instead of 1/4. Actually, it's more than 1/8. It should be I don't know, this is more like 1/12 or something of a circle, the way I cut them. It's very complicated and doesn't work, and it's just the same height problem. Here you can see my attempts at that. So I kind of abandoned that idea, and this here is probably the prettiest, most bug-free stair that we have. And here I've only used these corners, as you can see, and it looks very smooth. It looks very nice. No problem except for here, but this you can avoid. This is just something that happened in copy pasting because I made an error when placing the last one. That is actually something you have to be very careful about, because when you place things and they react to other voxels, you can't really undo that. The damage is done, it will be there. So here I've just done something on the top of the stairs to demonstrate how it would look with planks, and a little tip that you can do there is basically, remember that you have multiple plank textures. So you have these diagonal one or the vertical ones, etc, etc. You can place them so that it actually fits the stairs. I really wish there would be 2 vertical ones that goes different directions as well. But this is a pretty neat looking stairs. The problem is, it's not round. It's actually just a square stair with round corners. So I tried to do sort of the same technique with 1/8 of a circle, adding stairs in between, and doing diagonal middle stairs is really difficult. It's a whole line tool trick, and this is how I did them, by putting up sort of like measurement blocks on the sides here and drawing a line tool in between. And this is the flipped version. We actually have to make 2 of these in order to get around to a circle, because this line here is integrated within the step. If you try to flip it around with a mirror tool, it will be upside down, so you have to make 2 different ones. Obviously, as you can see, it looks like a stairs, but it's quite imperfect and it's very prone to voxel errors, like here when you copy paste it, sort of the same problem as last time, and it just turns entirely blocky. Also, it's really hard to make fit perfectly, and basically there's a lot of errors in this. It's not a friendly design. Then I went back to the same design as the tall stairs there, just with fewer steps in between. You can perfectly well do it with 2 steps, then a quarter circle, 2 steps, then a quarter circle. You cannot do it with 1 step and a quarter circle. But this will be more compact, and it's still looking very nice. A little bug here again, but oh well. Those are mostly for placing them, errors while placing and copy pasting them onto each other again. The final design that I've landed on is this one here that you can see made out of stone. And this one is pretty much picture perfect. There's no really problems with it. There was one point where I forgot to flip one of these 1/8 of a circle pizza slices upside down, so there was a bit of a bug underneath it. But other than that, no real problem. And here's how you do those. You place 2 of them like this. So here you place actually 2 steps. So basically have the quarter circle, but it includes a step, so you go up 1. And that way you only have to draw the straight step in the straight directions instead of angles. And you do that by just putting up these little guides on the side, like there and there. And here you don't even have to use a wide line tool. You can use the singular line tool twice, like that, and you have the stair. And then you just remove the guides and copy the whole thing and duplicate it on top of each other. And voila, you have pretty much the perfect stair, and you can build this out to whichever direction you like on top. Here is pretty much the same design, where I've just tried to use the erasing circle tool in the middle to make it narrower. Obviously that kind of failed, but it made it kind of I don't know, like it's an unusual look. It's not perfect, but it works. It's a stairs is narrower, and so on. If you wondered why all these other circles were here, well, that was a little bonus that I've been playing around with. Basically, I ended up on using this circle size, the center of this, which, as you can see when you copy it down, it's not perfect because there is no actual center of that is 1 voxel high. You will have a little bit narrower. So what I've done is I've taken this, flipped it around, and used it to make this stair, which is actually much easier. This is just basically, it has a bit of, it grows together a bit, but it doesn't look angly. And this is just little circles, and it looks pretty good. It's a cool design, so that's the bonus design for this video. The way you would go about doing these is essentially you have to, let's say that this was a circle, you have to basically just count. So you do like one to this side, two to this side, then two to this side, two to this side, and then actually no one to that side, and then one to that side, and so on until you make a circle. So you just basically you calculate it. You can figure that out for yourself. All right, so that's it. I hope that was useful too. I hope it put some ideas in your mind. If you do come up with some great design based on this, or some generally better designs, please share them with me. I'm always interested in it. I'm already plotting different ways to make stairs, different ways to make other things. Man, I have problems with my mouth today. If you like the video, please share it with your friends. Leave a like on the video, that way other people are able to see it as well. Gives me some boost to my channel, which is something that makes me very, very happy. Subscribe perhaps even, and we can share some adventures on Twitch, on my weekend streams, other videos, and so on and so forth. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you around.